2026 already, guys. I hope it's going well for you. It's been a bit of a slow start for me getting back into it, and it doesn't help that a lot of what I'm doing right now is fairing. But I thought I'd start this video with a bit of an overview of what I achieved, just a small one in 2025, some of the highlights, and then show you what's ahead for 2026. One of the first projects was to convert this 12 volt windlass to 48 volts, and I did that by buying a 48 volt motor and doing all the adaptation required. I had been given some carbon twill, so I decided to make a feature of the bench top for the galley out of it and learn all the skills. After too much thinking about the composting head, I decided to build a side-by-side, one for number ones and one for number twos. It may be a good idea and it may not, but it gives options anyway. There was a lot to consider in building the cabin top, and because it wasn't that stable with the changing humidity, I decided to put some carbon straps on to make sure everything was strong enough. I ran out of timber to build the cockpit with, so it was a mixed blessing really. I got to play with building the cockpit out of PET foam, and it went really well. It was quite fast and efficient. I think it would have been more than twice as fast as doing it in Polonia. So if I built another boat, I'd consider building the whole thing in PET next time. I had a custom hatch made for the companionway, and I had to fit it slightly off center so it could open 180 degrees and not interfere with a dodger that may later be fitted to the cockpit forward end of the cockpit area. I'm quite pleased with it because it can be made to close very quickly and easily and be very watertight. For some reason I developed a lung infection, and so I decided to stay out of the workshop for 2 or 3 weeks, and I'd always planned to build the sail. So a friend loaned me his Sailrite sewing machine, and I watched a whole lot of videos on how to use the sewing machine, ordered the materials, and started building the sail in the house. And it rapidly grew into quite a difficult project because of the space requirements. But it's amazing how far I got. I got as far as ending up with 2 big panels for each side of the sail, because it is a twin ply sail. And in the end I took it to a sail maker to finish it off, and I was very pleased with the results. I decided to cast my own mast bearings that allow the mast to rotate, which is critical to this design of the rig. So first of all I needed to build a wire cutter, and that went really well, and I wanted a reasonable size because I was going to do some fairly big castings, and then I had to learn the whole process of lost foam aluminium casting, and there was a huge amount to learn. There was at least 4 videos worth, and in the end I got some really good results, and I got some very much appreciated help from 1 or 2 experts who watched my videos online. I've done a lot of stainless steel work in the past, so I was always going to build the push pit, the pull pit, and the stanchions, and it all went really well, and I ended up learning how to do my own electro polishing as well. Finally it came time to fit the bulb, which I just set up, to the daggerboard which I'd made, and this required making holes for the stainless steel bolts to go right through. There were different ways I could have done this, but that's how I decided to do it in the end. I made it so the bolts could be removed at any time for inspection or eventual replacement. Stainless steel is not extremely reliable in the long term, and sometimes when there's a lack of oxygen, but it all came together. Now that the daggerboard was attached to the bulb, I rolled the boat onto its side, and a friend came round to help me get it ready for inserting into the boat. I'm very happy to say it all went very well. The clearances were there, and it slid into the boat very easily. It was decided to build the trailer because Christmas was coming up fast and I really wanted to be sailing by Christmas. And I thought there was a small possibility that I might have the boat ready by then. But it wasn't to be, of course. But so the trailer took weeks to build out in the hot sun. And after a lot of planning and work, it all came together. And I actually had the boat on top of it at one point to test its strength, and it all became fully galvanized. One of my more successful videos was this one on the shaping of the rudder using those offset rails, which I saw explained quite well on YouTube by one or two people who built their foils this way. It went really well for me. It was quite a learning curve, but it went really well. I needed some bunks for the trailer for the boat to sit on, so laminated them up out of this 1/2-inch plywood. The Keel bulb sits on this one, and there's 3 others that the boat sits on. As you can see, I've bent up the tiller out of 20mm stainless steel, 3/4 of an inch that I had. I'm just waiting for some parts to finish it off. The carbon rudder stock is nearly finished, just a little bit more glassing or with carbon fiber and possibly some clear finish, and it's all done. What's left on the interior? Well, I've got to finish off some edges like these ones. For the composting toilet, I've got to fix the buckets inside there, make a slot for them to fit into got to mount the fan. It's a 24 volt fan that'll run on 12 volts, so it runs slower and doesn't make so much noise or vibration. And there's a tube that goes underneath the quarter berth there to the transom and will go out the transom. So that's a bit of work there. There's the battery to install, goes in there, and there's a top to make for the step there, which also there's the battery cover, and a lot of the electrics will go on this panel here below that shelf that's there. It's actually quite a nice area to sit in. And there'll be a good view. When you're sitting here, you can look out the companionway. You'll be able to look out these windows. There's the squabs, of course, to be made, and I may not do that under normal circumstances. I'd probably make them, but it's a time thing, and my partner Adrian is quite agreeable to having them made. So there's not a lot to do in here. There's all those holes to drill for the deck fittings, but it's not daunting, and I'll quite enjoy the work I've got to do in here. So in regard to the fairing on the cabin top, it's well on the way, but this area here has been something I've thought about a bit and what I'm going to do there, because it's I don't really want to do fairing around the daggerboard keel there, so I might have to lift the whole boat up so this goes just below the surface. This is going to make it so much easier fairing around here. The mast bearings, this is a design that's evolved a bit as I've gone along. I have to cut a U-shaped hole in here, both sides of course, so the bearing, as you might remember, it can rotate because it's got a pin out either side, and that's how I've decided to do it. This is my massive anchor locker. There's not much to do in there, fortunately, and fortunately if I do anything there I can climb in there. How many yachts this size can you climb into the anchor locker? But it needed to be big because the bottom of the mast rotates up and just misses this point here. That's part of the design. So I might have to put a bit of a divider in here for the anchor chain when it sits in there, so it doesn't get in the way of the mast swinging. This bit of aluminium pipe is left over from a spinnaker pole that I made up for my young 11 yacht, and unfortunately it's not as long as I would hope it to be, because it's been good for setting it all up, but I've got an anchor to sit on here and a bow roller fitting that will go on the end of that. I want the aft end of the anchor to not come near the hull, so if it shakes around a bit it's not going to chip the paint. This certainly isn't the final position, but the anchor will sit something like that on the little prod there, and probably a little bit further aft. Haven't fully worked out how I'll do the bow roller yet. It may be a double roller, so I can put some kind of forestay for a code 0 or something if I ever use one, from the center of it up to the top of the mast. But I definitely want to keep it away from the hull, and I want it to be easily deployed, because this boat will have electric propulsion, and I can imagine a situation where you end up in a bay. You may not have enough power to get out, and so the anchoring is your stopgap, and you may not be able to sail out. So the anchoring system's got to be really good on the boat. So it's one of the best anchors you can get is a Rockner. So the new year has seen the ducks enjoying the water, the mason bees trying to fill the holes that I leave just for them, and we made it to the beach for a day to take a day off and stretch our legs. And the fairing continues. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.